Welcome to this session of the Ancestral Healing Summit with my guest, Yeye Luisah Teish. Our topic for this session is Egun Re-O, cracking the ancestral code for healing our world. Yeye Teish is an elder in the traditions of the African diaspora. She renders its wisdom through storytelling, writing, divination, and ritual theater. Yeye Teish, I'm so pleased you could join us today. Welcome.
Ashe, Alafia. When I say Alafia, your response is Sha Alafia ni. What we've said in the Yoruba language is, may you have good health and be at peace with your neighbor, and you've given the same thing back to me. We greet each other this way because in this tradition, as in many, that's the ideal that we are striving for, to have good health on every level and to be at peace with our neighbor. Now, as I say that, we know that we're far from that right now, We know that right now our conduct has made our mother planet somewhat ill. We know that we have become disconnected from our fundamental sense of kinship, and so we are at war with each other and making crazy judgments about each other. And that same alienation can make people feel very, very depressed or angry or otherwise disconnected. So I would like to begin this session by employing your facility for active imagination. Through active imagination, we can really move energy and make the connections necessary to access the wisdom of the ancestors to help us heal ourselves and our world. So I'm going to ask you to relax in your seat. That's the first thing. Take a deep breath and gently close your eyes. Gently close your eyes. And you may notice that when you close your eyes, it turns your attention to your breathing. Just inhale and exhale gently. And let the breath flow through your body. Feel the presence of this magnificent organ, this body that you have been given through the blessing of your ancestors. Take a deep breath and bring in the energy of all the things that are in the room that is presently supporting you. The chair, the computer, the things in your kitchen, your bedroom, your living room, all of these things were created through the genius of the ancestors. Take a deep breath and allow your consciousness to expand so that it goes outside of the room, outside of the house, and connect with the natural ancestors, with the wind and the trees, the water and the earth. Feel that strength and feel that wisdom. Imagine for a moment that there is a tree near you that has been there for decades, possibly even for a century. Know what that tree knows. That tree has seen so many things and heard so many things. Consider the birds flying outside, the high-flying birds who can look down and see everything. Consider the water that is near you and the people who have sailed on that water, as well as the beings that live in that water. Consider the seeds flying in the wind, warmth and radiation of the sun. And now connect with all the people walking on the land under that sun, breathing that air. And allow your consciousness to expand even more beyond the top of the sky, to connect with the sun and the stars and the planets and the asteroids, and know that they also are our illustrious ancestors. Take a deep breath and pull all of that energy to you, the energy of the cosmos, of the sky, of nature outside, the thoughts of all the people walking on the earth at this time. Bring that energy in under your roof and into your room and into your body, and connect backwards in time to all those ancestors who contributed to your being. Take a deep breath and know that every problem, every concern that you have has been addressed before by someone who exited the land of spirit, entered the land of humans, had the human experience, and returned to spirit. These are the ones that we shall call upon to help us bring harmony and peace into our lives and our world. Egun reo, Egun reo, Egun reo, Egun gun re reo, Egun reo, Egun gun re reo, Egun reo, Egun gun re reo, Egun reo. Take a deep breath and open your eyes, continuing to feel the presence of all that we have invoked. To say Egun reo is to say that the ancestors are good. To say Egun gun re reo implies that we are asking for the long line of ancestors, the consciousness and the energy of the long line of ancestors to come to us good doubled. Egun gun re re o. Egun gun re re o. I think the first thing that we have to do is make an assessment of our present situation. We are in danger, in my opinion. We are in danger of destroying the planet that sustains us. We are in danger, this is the one that really hurts me sometimes. We are in danger of forgetting that we are all human. That one really worries me. And we are in danger of loneliness and an isolation, that cuts us off from spirit, okay? And those are the three things that I would like to address in cracking the ancestral code. The code says that you are a spiritual being who made a choice in Orun, in the land that we would think of as heaven. You made a choice to take a body and to come to earth, and that was no accident. You made a choice to be who you are, to do what you came here to do, and to have the resources to fulfill that doing. Now, I really need people to get that, because Some of us think that our birth was an accident. Some of us have been told that we have no power, no value, and no worth. Some of us have been so abandoned and rejected that we start to believe that, okay? That must be undone right this minute. So I want everybody, if you're holding any of that, I want you to take a deep breath and let it out. In this moment, all you have to do is take a deep breath and let that out. One more for that residue. Take a deep breath and let it out. This is the first thing you have to do when that despair attacks you. A cleansing breath, sending the negative out. Just send it out. And don't be afraid to be raw or barren or without purpose or direction for the period of time between breathing out and making the next move, okay? So right now we're in liminal space. We're in a liminal space where you don't have to do anything except that you are here, you see. Now that you know that you are here, I want to invite everybody to touch your own body, you know, touch your head, touch your face, touch your shoulders, touch your arms, touch your belly, touch every part of your body, and recognize what a miracle it is that you are here. You are here. You are alive, okay? You are here because millions of people have contributed to your DNA since the beginning of time, okay? There are millions inside of you walking with you, okay? And if you're one of those people who's been put down by the critic, you know, I'm not good enough, I don't have it, I don't know, or either the I'm not good enough, so the two twos. I'm too this, I'm too, take a deep breath and let that go. Feel the reality of your body and just be really, really proud and very, very grateful that you are here among the other creatures, among the birds and the trees and the fish. We are all here together with the other people. Now comes a time where we can employ our rational and emotional facility. This is the time when somebody says to me, well, you know, yeah, you know, I don't know, my life ain't that great, you know, and we start the litany of what seems to be wrong, okay? I maintain that there is no feeling that you can have that has not already been experienced by some ancestor, either yours directly or some other ancestor that you are connected to, whether it's an affinity spirit, whether it's a blood relative, or whether it is Egun, long time ago, okay? So what is beautiful about the ancestral code is that it can be both grounded in your biology, right? Right now, a lot of people are having their DNA tested. A lot of people are finding out, you know, where in the world they came from, who their tribe is and their tribes are, and what kind of blood is flowing through their veins. This is a wonderful opportunity to, number one, accept all aspects of your biological self. This is an opportunity, okay? I know some people have been traumatized because they thought they were 100% this and find out they're only 35% that, and that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, no matter what that sheet of paper reads, when you're through with it, everybody there is human. Everybody there was conceived. Everybody there was born. Everybody there lived. Everybody there died. And everybody there continues to exist as pockets of energy and intelligence in the land of the ancestors. Egun re-o. Okay, so when you look at your biological ancestry, sometimes you now have a way to look at both understanding the self that you know, and you have a hint of a place where you can explore. Okay, let me use myself as an example. Of course, the majority, when I did National Geographic 2.0, of course, the majority of my DNA is from Africa. That makes total sense out of everything, okay? And for me as a young woman who was in love with fabric, I didn't know why I love fabric. Later on, I find out this is an African woman's thing. You know, African women do fabric. We're fabric fanatics. I inherited that, honestly, okay? But it also said Mediterranean, which helps to make sense out of my love of Greek and Roman folklore, Mediterranean food. For some reason that I could not understand, I always thought one day I'll go to Anatolia. Who the hell knows where Anatolia is, really? You know what I'm saying? And then even more so, a certain percentage of what's identified as Mongolian. Yes, you know, Mongolian. Now I have a biological license to investigate the gifts of those cultures, and without appropriation, but with biological ownership, to find out how do all of my people deal with problem A, B, C, D, and E. What are the gifts? What are the gifts from all of those lineages? Okay, what are the gifts? And of course, every biological lineage is going to have both gifts and liabilities. All of our people at some point have been both wonderful and terrible. Here's where we make the distinction, the decision that I am going to manifest the best of my ancestry, and any wounding that I have inherited from that, I'm going to work on healing that wounding. We must make that commitment to ourselves in order to be whole. Now, here's what's wonderful. In addition to your own biological ancestry, we also have what we call affinity ancestors. They may not be related to you immediately by blood, but they are people who have contributed to human culture in ways that you have access to and that you can grow from, okay? So since in my youth, I was a choreographer, every choreographer whose work I've ever studied is an affinity ancestor. I have learned, I have inherited from them, okay? I love to cook. So every cook whose work I use is an affinity ancestor. You see what I'm saying? And this allows me, if I don't know something, if there is a deficit in my knowledge, or I don't find an answer in my own culture, I can respectfully approach, okay, another and ask those ancestors, how did you handle this? Like what comes to mind immediately is snow, okay? I don't come from snow, child. I don't know nothing about snow. Can't stand it, you know, it's too cold for me. But if I have to go into snow country, this is a time when I turn to those ancestors who came up in snow and I say, what is your wisdom? And they say, wool and fur. You understand what I'm saying? It
Yes,
is
I do.
that practical. Wool and fur, okay? Wool and fur. And then, of course, we are so blessed even to have access to those whose names we no longer know. You know, we don't know where they sprung up. We don't know what it is, but we are blessed to be able to go into the mystery of existence. Okay, we have information that comes to us from ancient cultures, from long before we could trace our line. And I think that this is what surprises people sometimes. When you start the ancestor reverence practice, there is information that comes to you through intuitive knowledge that maybe you can't source it. You don't know, how do I know that? Where does that come from? You see, but when we learn the practice of ancestor reverence, you can access energy and information from the deep, deep levels of our evolving consciousness. Okay. Now, everybody take a deep breath, because I know you're saying, Teish, how are we going to do all this? How are we going to do all this? And it sounds very complicated, but actually it's quite simple. Okay. First of all, if you have one of those DNA charts and it says, you know, your people are from the Congo and some of them are from, you know, Mesopotamia, and some of them are from China, those cultures, start to investigate. Read some mythology, eat some of the food, listen to some of the music, so that that which is within you will be awakened. Okay. If you have your career and you find that choreography is something that you did, learn something about those people and study their life. This is one of the wonderful things about biography and autobiography. Okay, we have a chance to learn from the experience. One of the people who I study and love is Maya Angelou. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I am fortunate in that there is a long line of powerful women that I can learn from. Okay. And I do mean that we study those people's lives, and their image is on your ancestor shrine, just like your grandmother's. There's the biologicals, there's the affinity spirit, and then there's the unknown, mysterious ones. Okay, so chapter 4 of my book, Jambalaya, gives you all kinds of instructions for setting up an ancestor shrine. And when you set one up, what you're doing is you're surrounding yourself with the two principles of sympathy and contagion. If I have a picture of a famous dancer on my shrine, and I'm looking at her and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking about her energy and I'm thinking about that, it awakens in me Okay, as I pay homage, it awakens in me, right? Now, I have her ballet slippers, you know, and I put them on sometimes so that I can feel that energy. But what is most important is when you put the symbols on the shrine, when you put the images on the shrine, you sit down with a candle and a glass of water, and you shut down what the Buddhists call the monkey mind. You know, that mind that, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. You know, put that to rest. Just take some deep breaths, let it go. Don't imagine that there's anything that has to happen other than that you are communicating with this energy and being open to see what comes back to you. You'd be amazed at what can happen when you light a candle, put a glass of water there, sit there quietly and just look in the water without critical negative judgment. What happens is that intelligence sends a symbol that you can recognize, that when you embrace that symbol and start to pay attention to it, A connects to B, connects to C, connects to D, and the next thing you know, you're on a path to the answer to your concern, okay? If you do this as a regular practice, and again, water gazing is known in just about every culture. Everybody knows. Some people do crystal gazing. Women in West and East Africa gaze at water in the river. Nostradamus used to put water drops on his glasses. You know, there's a way in which just looking at water gets us in touch with that energy. Okay, now let's be very, very practical here. Very practical. I have told you that the ancestors represent those spiritual beings who came to earth and had certain experiences, acquired certain knowledge, and felt certain things, and they return to spirit. Okay. They are energy, not destroyed at all, but merely existing in another form. When you sit down and shut out the monkey mind with enough humility to not sit there and assume, oh, I already know everything. No, but I am open to understanding what is coming through, okay? When you have enough humility to let it come through, and you do this practice all the time, it can become very, very, very practical, okay? First of all, I need a new apartment. So I will sit down at my ancestor shrine and I'll say, you know, all you ancestors who are kindly disposed toward me, hear my need. All you carpenters, all you gardeners, all you decorators, all you who have anything to do with what I am attempting to do, bring your intelligence to me. And then I sit down and I shut up and I listen, right? And something, I had this experience the other night, and something comes through that I then have to respect enough to follow it, to see what was this I was told? What is the meaning of this? And sometimes I ask that people keep a little journal of these seemingly random thoughts or images that come up, because the code is being, it's like Morse code, a message is being sent to you. When you do this consistently, it can evolve into the art of sleep concentration. So you sit at your shrine, you consider what it is that is your concern you ask for assistance, and then you go to sleep and pay attention to your dreams, okay? I know people whose dreams are so clear that they've gotten over the fear, and an ancestor will come in the shape of a human, recognizable, talk to you plainly, you know. But we have to learn not to be afraid. We have to learn not to be afraid when that comes through. So it is as simple as making a list of your known and affinity ancestors, being kind of clear about what your concerns are, right? And which ancestors you're going to talk to about your concerns. And then just sit down with a candle and a glass of water, empty out, and let them speak to you. Simple method.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I especially like the way that you specify which ancestors you're going to be working with, because some of them might not be on your side.